Yo, I want to talk about the Entrati disruption level cap and everything that I've learned about the mission. First, as I said in the previous video, there are probably better methods than the one that I've used, and it didn't even pass through my mind to use Energy Vampire, Trinity's Energy Vampire. So, about the mission itself, the main thing that is different, the conduits are named different, the keys are named different, and there's the Grizzling. That is a creature that steals a key and you have to kill it. It tries to trick you, and it's about it. It gets really tough as the levels increase. And the Demolishers, which are Necromax, Bone Widow, and Void Rig. I feel like Void Rig is much tougher than Bone Widow. They have damage attenuation. They don't have a nullifying bubble, and they don't pulse a nullifying field. They are affected by finishers and abilities. Just like normal Demolishers, they have diminishing returns for abilities. The more you use it, the less effective and the less duration is going to have on them. They cannot by default be armor stripped, that being no Terrify, no Fusion Strike, no Caustic Strike. Those won't even change his armor. Apparently, you can armor strip them with Emerald Archon shards, but you would have to put 5 of the normal to attempt that. I haven't tried it yet, but I was talking with a dude during the stream, and he said he was getting increased corrosive stacks as he put it into his build, more the Emerald shards. These guys are tanky, but the worst thing in the whole mission is the key drops. The best thing I can tell you is to don't go alone, or if you think that there's too few key drops, just wait a little bit or just find some people to play, because the key drops are the worst thing in the run, in this mission. They're just terrible for solo, at least. So that's what I can tell you. The Grizzling gets crazy tanky. I could just not kill it at level cap. There was no freaking way for me with my build, with my loadout, to kill it. Maybe the Energy Vampire Trinity would kill it, but with my loadout it just wouldn't go. At first I was looking for things to use here. You can see that the first hours of the stream I spent trying stuff here. I brought Caliban, I brought Ash, I brought Citrine, just to test what it could be done. And you can try a lot of stuff, actually. The thing is that Mag was one-shotting them pretty easily with the Magnetized Bubble and Smite. That is something that people already used on level caps against other factions, and it worked pretty well. For this mission, it worked amazing until probably round 18. It was still one-tapping the Bone Widows, but not for the Void Rigs. Void Rigs are kind of crazy. Things get really, really ugly after round 30, and that's where I even thought that I wasn't gonna make it, because they just get so much tanky that you have to spend a good amount of time killing them. After round 40, I think 42, I started using a fellow Spectre to help me kill it, because he was doing significant damage and I wasn't doing a lot of damage. It's really just crazy the amount of damage attenuation and how it goes. Yeah. If I were to do it again, I would probably bring a completely different loadout. And, I used the Praetos for speed to maneuver fast, and that was pretty good. But I brought Dexterity on my Mitre, which also was working just as well as the Magnetize and Smite at the beginning, but then it just stop because the damage attenuation, and also the dexterity was kind of hard to trigger because my Praetos wasn't doing a lot of damage. I even tried using a Necromech to kill at the level cap, and it was not that bad, but it got like close to one shot. So not that good. This mission, of course it has to do, but with the amount of spawns, enemy spawns, and the enemy types within the mission, it is probably the easiest disruption to survive. I never brought mag to a level cap before this, and I have close to no problems at all. I only died once because I had a health drain, and my Spectre ended up killing the dude I needed to kill to revive myself. Other than that, it was super chill. And that even made the run worse because I had the lock surges, I had extra health, and I had a lot of energy regen. So that was a shame. It's the rooms, unlike the normal disruptions, they are big. The Conduit rooms, they are usually very big. And the factor for me to decide which I want to take, which one to play, was mainly the room that stays between the Conduit rooms. I didn't want too many curves. Didn't want to, you know, had just turn a lot when I had to go, and because I wanted to go fast. But at the end of the day, being fast didn't make that much difference because the key drops were awful. They were terrible. They were just really terrible. The disruption is interesting. I'm gonna say that as soon as we find a better way to do this, and if they increase the key drops or increase enemy density, I'm probably gonna be running this a couple more times. With this run, I was able to farm 2 Dantes and enough of the material for the weapons and everything else on the store. So pretty much 1 level cap is kinda all you need if you're a bit lucky. But yeah, I can't really recommend, with this loadout. I did it, but it is nothing close to ideal. It was a struggle. But again, the worst thing was the key drops. Fighting the Necromechs, it took some time. It took over 2 minutes per mech to kill per mech, which is pretty bad considering we kill like demos in a couple seconds in normal disruption. So yeah, it is an interesting new mode, but there is a lot of polish to be applied to this thing, and I really want to see what is intended and what is not, because it is really, really different from the standard. So yeah, what I'm gonna try next is to see how if the shards can really strip the armor, and if they do, then it's gonna be the search for the big explosive damage or the big blast damage, because that's where they're vulnerable to after you strip their armor. And then we'll have to see. Let me know what you think about this disruption. Leave it down below. Suggestions, thoughts. Do you like it? You don't? Leave it all in the comments below. Leave it a like, subscribe, and peace.